Hi, my name is Sara Fancy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the shamanic journeying classes I'm going to teach. I am going to take you to the lower world where you will meet your power animal. And then after that journey, we will go to the upper world where you will meet your spiritual teacher. And then in the final class, I'm going to teach you how to do a soul retrieval by visiting your spiritual teacher in the upper world, who's going to help you do a soul retrieval on the behalf of someone else. And it can be an animal or a person you know. It can even be yourself, actually. I'd like to explain to you what a shamanic journey is. It's a way of traveling in your inner landscape, either to the lower world or the upper world. Sometimes we go to the middle world, but whenever we go anywhere, we go through some kind of portal. You all know about Alice in the rabbit hole, where Alice went down into the rabbit hole. It's like that. You're going into another world, another dimension, and we can travel light. We can be like big or small. We can be as light as a feather, so we can do things that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to do in the physical world. And we're actually journeying to get information. So we leave here, we go there or there, and we bring back some information. And the information can be for yourself, it can be for someone else. And this is a way of healing that has been done forever and ever, and our ancestors journeyed. And pretty much it's all the same kind of template of lower world, middle world, upper world. When we go to the lower world, which is the first journey that I'm going to take you to, you are going to meet your power animal. Now, your power animal is not an animal that is deceased or you knew. It wasn't an animal that was in the physical. This is your guardian disguised as an animal who's waiting to meet you. And once you connect, it's life-changing. When I first did this, like, I don't know, 22 years ago or something, when I first went to the lower world, I connected with my power animal at the time, which was a peacock. I never imagined that I would have a peacock for a power animal, but in hindsight, it really makes sense. One of the symbolisms for the peacock is royalty or regality, because the peacock has a crown. And I was in a place in my life where I really was feeling oppressed by, I don't know, in my job and where I lived and everything. And now, fast forward, here I am. I have my own place, my own business. I'm actually the queen of this domain. So I really feel like I did step into that energy of the peacock. Also, the peacock is about illusion with all the eyes. And I absolutely relate to that with the type of work that I do, and also the creative work I do with photography and painting and storytelling as well. So your power animal can bring you the attributes that you need in your life in order to move forward or to be the best version of yourself. When we go to the upper world, and you will connect to your spiritual teacher. Now, your spiritual teacher is usually in a humanoid form, usually. It doesn't absolutely have to be, but typically it's like a humanoid. Could be, Shiva, could be Jesus, could be, Mary. And the thing is not to assume. The same with going to the lower world. You never want to assume who it is because you don't want to influence it. You just allow them to reveal themselves to you. With the spiritual teacher, you can go and visit, as many times as you want. The same with the lower world. You can visit your power animal as many times as you want. But with a spiritual teacher, they are going to help you do things like the soul retrieval. All right? So the soul retrieval is when you help someone bring back a fragment of their soul that has been buried, lost, discarded, which usually happens through trauma. All right? Which typically might be in childhood. Doesn't have to be. It could be in utero or, when you're a baby. So what happens is when we have a trauma, we usually fragment. Our soul will just kind of fragment, and that part of us will be buried somewhere or hide, but it's still present and it comes out, like when we are triggered, say. So when someone's having a crisis in their life, a soul retrieval is really helpful. And the spiritual teacher will guide you and show you how to bring that part back. And it's very sort of creative and free-flowing, and you just allow it to happen. You can also do a soul retrieval for an animal. I first learned how to journey through my friend Lisa Chan, who was trained by Michael Herner. She wanted to help the horses that I was working with that were really traumatized. And so she would come and do a journey for the horses. And then finally she said, Sarah, I'm just going to teach you because then you can do it and I don't have to. You can do it for yourself, for your dogs, anyone, and people. So that was really great. And so I learned through Lisa. And if you're kind of skeptical or you think, oh, this is like BS, if you do a soul retrieval for an animal, and you get a result, then this works, That's happened a lot of times for me. I have no doubt about this work. I know it helps if the person is open, if the animal is open. For instance, I did a soul retrieval from one of my horses, Corazon, who was having trouble fitting in with a herd, and she was fighting with her best friend, Diva. And after the journey, no more fighting. I didn't have to separate them. I didn't have to say anything. I did the journey, did the soul retrieval, and no more fighting after that. And she was settled in the herd, which was wonderful. If someone is in a suicidal, if someone's, super depressed, has been depressed for a long time, chances are, their soul is, part of their soul is missing. Okay? That would be a good candidate for a soul retrieval. Say someone is in a coma, soul retrieval, really good. You can do it for children if they're having trouble sleeping, if they're having night terrors. A soul retrieval would be really good. When you journey, you usually take a team. So, sometimes I take my dogs who've passed, I call them Black and Tan Clan, because they're all black and tans. I might take them. I might take my horses who are on the other side. I might take some ravens with me. I don't know, it's very creative, and I just see who wants to show up. When we journey, we do it to a rhythm. You can use a rattle, like this, or like this one, or you can use a drum, like this. It's usually 7 beats per second, and the rhythm really helps you go into a focused, fluid state where, you're not going to fall asleep, that you can relax your mind and just kind of unravel and just be open to what reveals itself. I used this the other day. I've never used this before, but it was really relevant to the soul retrieval that I did. And I just followed my intuition about what to use, but I use this. Yeah, and like I said, it tied in with the soul retrieval, and it was really helpful. If you feel like, there's no way I can play a drum, or there's no way I can do a rattle for, it's probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Don't worry, there are recordings where you can just play it in the background, like on YouTube, or, you can buy a CD. It's basically just that rhythm, dun 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 dun, like that. So it makes it easy for everyone to be able to journey. I'm really excited to teach this class. It's the first time I'm teaching it. I've been journeying for like more than 20 years. I use this type of work in my work with horses and people, and when people work with me in a mentorship or on the phone. And I feel it's a really useful tool. I feel that you can help people remotely. You don't have to be next to the person when you're doing this, or animal. So I feel it's a very good tool, especially the times that we're in now, and it's extremely healing. So I hope that you can join the class.